I think a part of who I am has always been tangled up in guilt. Maybe it was drilled into me by my parents when I was young, a tool they used to keep me obedient, or maybe it was simply stitched into my nature from the beginning. As a child, there were countless nights when I would jolt awake, soaked in sweat, convinced I had done something monstrous. I could almost feel the evidence of my crime out there in the world, waiting to be uncovered. My chest would pound, my skin clammy, as I sat upright in bed staring into the dark, waiting for the inevitable hand to fall on my shoulder. But then those dreams stopped. They evaporated when I met her. She was everything I thought a man could want in a wife, gentle, kind, endlessly affectionate. She laughed at my jokes with genuine delight. And the first time she met my mother, she charmed her so completely I thought I must be the luckiest man alive. The early years of our marriage were painted in light. Our daughter came first, followed by our son. And on the surface it looked as though we were living a picture-perfect life. But beneath that image, something began to twist. 6 months after our daughter's birth, I noticed the first cracks. Small things at first, easy to brush aside, but the cracks widened. By the time our son arrived, the change in her had solidified into something irreversible. She had grown brittle, sharp, drained of patience. Her remarks toward me and slowly, toward the children, became cutting in a way that left invisible scars. Motherhood, instead of filling her with warmth, seemed to hollow her out, like a weight dragging her further into dissatisfaction. I tried to talk to her, again and again, hoping to understand what had shifted inside her, but every attempt turned into a quarrel, manufactured, almost as though she sought them out. In the end, I stopped trying. Whatever we had once shared was gone, and all that was left was a strange sort of cohabitation. She wasn't cruel in the conventional sense. She wasn't violent. But she was never happy, never content, and she took that emptiness and made it our burden. The more time passed, the more reasons she found to be absent. I would come home from long days of work to meet her in the hallway, already dressed to go out. "You'll need to make dinner. I won't be home," she'd toss over her shoulder. Those words should have hurt. But instead, they became small mercies. Her absence gave the house a serenity that her presence shattered. On the nights she stayed, it was worse. She would hover, restless and irritable, picking at every imperfection, muttering bitter things that made the children retreat into their rooms until I returned. Slowly, they began to orbit me instead of her. I was the one who cooked, who tucked them in, who mended their scrapes and soothed their fears. I was both father and mother, not because I wanted to be, but because I had no choice. And though it pained me, I realized the children felt safer that way. Her history should have told me this would happen. She had been raised in a fractured home, where her mother betrayed her father again and again until infidelity became routine. She had sworn to me, more than once, that she would never repeat her mother's sins. But like so many promises before it, that vow broke. The final unraveling began one night in late March. The children were asleep when she entered the living room, her face cold, her voice flat. "David, we need to talk." There was no warmth in her tone, no tenderness. Just a sentence delivered like a court ruling. She informed me, with no trace of shame.